Right, this is a weird game. Prepare yourselves.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
This is me at work.
As though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hold the fuck up.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So yeah, this guy commentates, and you can choose to follow what he does, or go a different route, and he gets like pissed off if you go a different route. 420.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
What should I go for, guys? Red or blue? I just want to completely defile him.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Wait, where's the stairs gone behind me?
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
There's still a blue door here.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
That looks scary in there. Will he let me go back? What if I go through the red door now, mate? Nope. Okay. Guess we're going this way. But yeah, there's a bunch of different endings to this based on like the routes you take and stuff.
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Right, he originally wanted me to go to the left one. Should I go to the right or the new door? I'm siding with the new door. I think I'll go, won't I?
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
He wants critical feedback, so if I give him a 3, it's absolutely worthless.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings? Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, I think he's outdone himself there. Wait, does it show me? Is it going to show me? Oh. Nice. Oh, you can't even see the full message. So I'm absolutely last place. Error, friends list empty. 21.3%. 21. Yeah. Skip the intro sequence. Only. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you, mate. Do you want me to re-rate your game?
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
What should we go for, guys? 3 again? That's what we can come up with, yeah?
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Alright.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice.
I'm not going to push the
But of
button.
course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Hey!
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough?
I can't jump on
Say
this game.
this, I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Oh, yeah.
This will go.
That gave me
here.
fucking goosebumps.
No, here, and then. Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
How long do you reckon I've got to wait until he gets pissed off? Is he not going to say anything?
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Oh, that's really fucking trippy.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? No. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Alright, well, I was enjoying that, mate. Fucking arsehole.
Yes, I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You
Oh, it's
trapped in
Portal.
a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
What the fuck? This game is kind of trippy, right?
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
I like Paul.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any...
Have I left him behind? Oh, shit! Oh. Bro, why am I low-key scared? I don't like this voice. I should have listened to him. Yeah, he's gonna shout something really random, isn't he? Four two three. Have I got it to 427? Oh, there's light. Thank God. Oh, hello. No. Wait, was there someone in there? No. Oh, it's me. If I break the game.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me.
I did.
Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Was that the ending? It was. Well then. Should we follow his instructions this time and see what the actual, like, supposed end is?
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Oh, so I'm still in the same... I'm still in the same one. Do I do as I'm told now?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Oh, okay, he didn't
Perhaps
care.
Wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I can't tell if this is still the same one or if it's actually restarted.
Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his
Oh,
left.
that's lovely.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, I don't know which one to do.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
He has no fucking idea, does he?
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Fuck.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Well, this don't look good, does it?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Fired?
Just have to get back to
Wait, where am I?
Oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish.
427. I'm over. I'm down there.
Unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from
No.
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Right, I'm going to do as I'm told this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I think when I went down the elevator, it threw off the whole story.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, Did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then.
It's so confusing.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Wait, all the doors are open. Stanley Parable. Why do I feel like it all leads back to the same place anyway?
I'll say it.
Oh my god, that made me jump.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
No. Oh. No, it's not a puzzle game. It's just it's a game where the commentator tries to tell you what to do, but you can either choose to.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Go with him or not.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's no doors now.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Let's go up there.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
What?
The story. Here it comes.
Oh no, don't tell me.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
The door's gone here.
Remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all.
Oh, come on.
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
It is a really weird, confusing game, but it's brilliant.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
This isn't the right way. It was this way. The doors are gone still.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Okay. The line will do. 425, okay. I've known this game for ages.
See? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, what the fuck? Wait, that wasn't there a minute ago, was it? It's gonna lead me back to my own room, isn't it?
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. We got it memorized.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Mate, this game is so trippy.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ah, we've got a new line. What if I just stay in here? We'll watch the time tick by. I'm safe in my office. You can't jump.
You know what,
Oh
Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yeah, no worries. I don't know what the end is.
Yes,
There's multiple.
This is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I don't feel like I'm walking in circles, I'm walking in squares. Oh. Oh.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Damn it.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, 8 times? That's really how all this goes? It's all...
The narrator is gone.
determined?
After a long time, Stanley dies.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted
As
me?
we're here.
Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want
Both
to get
doors went
what's
in there
going
anyway.
on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Find a bookstore.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Has he now forgotten that he's restarted it? 420. Oh, I want to go through that door. Okay. So maybe that was the absolute end? And now it's like...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So every time so far I've gone to the right. Should I continue going there and try and wind him up more? Or should I go to the left? I've never gone to the left before. Your reaction's making this so much funnier. I'm glad. I think I'm going to go with... Yes, right? Okay.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
What is it? What are you? Okay.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
I'm going to stay here because he's going to get pissed off, I think. We're having a look at the paintings.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
That's a bit harsh. Hi.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
I'll wait like 15 more seconds. It's lovely in here though, isn't it? I like the blue carpet. Were they tiles? That's not the actual time, is it? No. Okay, maybe there's no more dialogue. Do I give in? In before. Fucking move! Yeah, I think I, Okay. Psych! Okay, he didn't care.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Right, so I've been to this room before. Last time I jumped
Stanley,
across over
I
there.
think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who is she?
She's been waiting.
The fan. I don't like that.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go.
I can't run.
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I've got goosebumps right now. This is really creepy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Please press 2 on your keyboard. Shall I push 3? 1? I'm really scared.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Thank you.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Mannequins creep me out, I'm not gonna lie. Please press F to pay respects. What if I just don't push it? I don't know how long you gotta wait though, that's the trouble. Oh, I can't walk over to her. Okay, I can. I'll push every key apart from F.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press F to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the
No, I don't
earth.
like the mannequin.
The thought excited him terribly.
Press 7 to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
It's changing back to my office.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Oh, I'll tell her I love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing's changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
I haven't got a real life.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press 6 to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Please die.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I've got to, haven't I?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly.
Oh,
well.
sorry, Owen.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there, just a kind of, tingle. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
So this is where we're supposed to come through originally. Okay. So this is like the intended route now. Tips for not getting fired.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I like it. Okay. Fuck. Right. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
We're staying here.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
That's me.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me, because literally, this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you, this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
No, I'm not. Look.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. And in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I'll give it like 20 seconds. I don't think there's any more to this now. Surely not.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who, coming to a staircase,
Oh, shit.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
Oh, no.
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon, I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Whoa!
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Fuck.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
No.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Shit.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Was that the end? The end is never the end.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
On the broom room back. The broom room. Where's my broom at? This is getting trippier and trippier, isn't it?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll do as I'm told, man.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
This is my safe space. This is my safe space. I don't think he cares about me being on there.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, it's lovely up here. No secretary?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Shit.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would end. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Oh, what the fuck?
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh. What the fuck? This is probably the best game we've ever played. Aye. There's dialogue for everything, I feel. Oh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar.
Yeah, I do,
It
to be
was
fair.
a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job.
How deep is this
Why did
going?
he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Which one, guys? I feel like in here it's just them screens, is it not? Do I escape or do I go to the mind control facility? Mind control? Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room.
Yeah, that's where I
packed
was
with
earlier.
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, because I was up there earlier.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
That's me there, in the middle.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Right, I've lost which one was me. Oh, I can go through here. Okay. On that one. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was
It's really
happy
satisfying.
with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I'm office 427, so I just looked out for that number.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Where the fuck am I going?
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What's... Whoa. What fucking button do I push? Ah, system power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
On or off? First response. Hi, Matt. On.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode,
He's bluffing.
eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time
He's bluffing,
to talk
isn't he?
about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Do I try and make a run for
Oh,
it?
dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on
I'm just
every
chilling.
little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door.
What if it is the big red button?
Anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's
Where's the purple button?
tragedy. You wanted to control this world,
Purple
that's
button.
fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Goodbye, employee 2.
Take a look at the clock.
472.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here.
I'm pressing them all back.
Blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part
Bring
of
it
the
on.
show. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
He wasn't bluffing. This is a different office now, though.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
The whole place has changed now, though, isn't it?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
what was it?
life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried
cheers,
below
mate.
his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra seat. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. So he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh, wow. Oh, don't put me in the dream again. I don't know how this gets to the end. I want to get a proper ending now. Because I feel like this game can just go endlessly at this point.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I did not.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. Nope, still on board with death.
Right, now I'm gonna go for it. The other way is a nuke, so let's go this way.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I don't know what to go for. I genuinely have no idea.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Who's this imposter?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Whoa, is
Do
this...
you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, solitaire. Oh, okay. Alright. Wait, there's multiple different offices I could have got. I didn't see that one. That was a different escape than I had.
Where were all of his co-workers? Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you?
Whoa. I don't know if this is the end or not. I mean, I guess so, because it's showing all the different endings and stuff through this. The freedom ending? What? The countdown desk, didn't see that. That's a beta freedom ending. Oh no.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oh, it's my office. Wait. From left to right. 2011, 2012 and 2013. Oh wow, this is really cool. The lounge? Oh, it's the early version. Not got the blue carpet. Can you read that? Oh. What's the significance of 1112800? No. Narrator emails. After second trial, the narrator for questions. Oh. Oh, that's cool. More screenshots. HD remix. More ended, fewer end. Okay. Where's the fern? I need to see the fern. Alright, have we explored everything here now then? Your focus face. Ah, good old printer. What's it got on it? 99999999. Okay. Yeah, where is Warzone? We're designing an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. What? There's like a Tron ending. Or there would have been. Sorry. Did I go in here? Yep. The lounge. Okay, I think I've explored everything here now then. Yeah, where is the fan? He lied to us. I want the freedom ending though.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
So was that the absolute end? I think that was the absolute end. Wow. I know for a fact there's multiple endings. Let me just have a look. I'm not going to spoil any, but... How many endings? There's 19 different endings. Well, that was an experience. That was definitely an experience. I didn't expect to play it for that long. I was just hopping on it just to have like a laugh for 20 minutes, but I'm probably going to try and get some of the other endings at another time. But that was really fun. I really fucking enjoyed that. But I do need to get some sleep, so I've got work tomorrow. I've got to go and sit in my office. Yeah, I'll probably chuck that up on my YouTube channel. And like I say, we'll have another session at some point and see if we can get a different ending. I wonder if we can get that alien ending. But you know, I appreciate you all watching, boys. Hope you all have a good evening. Don't start wandering around the corridors. I kind of want to play through it and follow his directions and just see where that takes us. But we'll try that another time. I think we got like the best ending. I can't see there being a better ending than that. Especially since we got to like the like ending room sort of thing. But yeah, that was interesting. Right. Have a good evening all. I appreciate you all. I'm live again tomorrow from like 7 PM onwards. I don't know what we were playing. But we'll probably get some Stanley Parable in the like late at night, sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching. Gonna host Zach. Enjoy your evening. Catch you later.